and say that this is what I'm going to follow the protocol and do it at the best, because only later on you're going to shift the patient. And believe it or not, in my own hospital, our hospital was the designated hospital for COVID-19, and every day starting from March till date, we were receiving not less than 300 to 400 patients a day, and most of them were on panic initially. We used to see 400, 500 patients getting tested, about 1,500 patients coming in and wanted to get a test done in the hospital. That was a panicky situation which we saw in. And the whole burden came on emergency physicians and the emergency care providers. But we never lost our hope. We saw and we ensured that there was not even one casualty in my hospital from the healthcare providers' perspective. So we took care of them. That is what India did differently, and that is which many countries took the leave, and they looked into how they can reduce. You can see all over the world there were 150,000 healthcare providers who died. But when you see country-wise, it is number which is less. So this is how you have to indigenously process them, construct them, review them whenever time and again is required, and then you have given the best care out of you to the patients who visit. Emergency, I always say that it is not a single man's job. It is always a teamwork. You have your core team with your group and make your protocols, vaccinate them, say to them that vaccination is the most important thing, and ensure that each one is teaching another person to save more lives. That is what is our tagline every time when we go there. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar, for this presentation and impressive numbers. Do we have any question in the audience about this situation in Asia? I've got one. Actually, what's the situation today? I mean, for different countries, what's the most threat you think it is now in Asia?
I saw the statistics yesterday night. It was not alarming in Asian countries. Like I said, my country had about 19,400 patients as of yesterday night for a population of 1.3 billion.
Yeah, thank you again, Sirenat.
Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, we have to move to the next speaker. Now from Mexico, Jesus Daniel Lopez is coming to report us about the situation in his country. Please, Jesus.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Dr. Eric, Dr. Luis. I have 5 minutes, I think, and I will talk about the Latin American experience with COVID-19. And I want to call my talk, why didn't we learn? But not just in Mexico, I think all the countries. Why didn't we learn about COVID-19? When did it all start in Mexico? We had the first case in Mexico in February 28. Somebody 35 years old who traveled to Italy for work. And when he got to Mexico, he was the first case in our country. But in Mexico, we aren't prepared, and Latin American were not prepared for this situation. Why? Because if you remember, when the pandemic started or began, everybody told it's like a flu. It's not dangerous. The influenza is more dangerous. Don't worry. Because we saw the numbers of Chinese, and the mortality was very low. But what happened with Mexico? Sorry? Okay, sorry. What happened with Mexico? our mortality now is 11, 12%, because as you know, we have a big problem with the obesity, and I'm sure your patients, when the more critical patients are very fat patients, and we have that problem. Our mortality is the biggest in the world, 11, 12%. Some cities, 15% of mortality. It was the first mistake. Trust. The other mistake, I don't know if you remember, we thought the COVID-19 is just in the north of the world, not the south. Why? Because we imagine the BCG vaccine protect the population, and South America and Africa didn't have COVID-19 when the pandemic began, and we thought this kind of vaccine protect our population. It was another mistake. And the other, I don't know if you know the Sentinel program. The Sentinel program is when you get the information about how many cases do you have in your country, and then it's just the 10% of the real cases in your country. If we have one day in Mexico 1,000 of cases, really we had 10,000. But it was similar to the influenza. And as you know, it's not similar. The spread in COVID-19 was more